being here with us, sir. I also, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I also recognize the Overseeing Director of the Directorate of Corporate Affairs, Mr. M.M. Umar. Good to have you here with us this morning, sir. I also recognize the presence of the Overseeing Director of the Administrative and Human Resource Management Department, Mr. K. Abiola. It's good to have you here with us. And I also recognize all the Deputy Directors here present, Assistant Directors here present, and my colleagues. Thank you so much for being here. Round of applause for yourself. I would like for us to stand up as we recite the third line of the National Anthem as our opening prayer. Please stand up, ladies and gentlemen. O God of all creation, grant us this our one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed, and so with peace and stability, Nigeria may be blessed. Amen. You may be seated. I'd like to yield to the representative of the Director General CEO in the person of Mr. A. Colleray for the welcome remarks.
Okay, thank you, Shiri. Good morning. Good morning, afternoon. Good morning, distinguished experts to this ninth edition of the lecture series. As you may be aware, this has been conceptualized to bring together an informative platform where staff or stakeholders can participate and share knowledge with one another. So it's a platform where we all get informed, get new knowledge, share ideas, ask questions and answers. Usually we get external stakeholders to come and give us their thoughts on some topical issues. But today, for the first time on record, after the DG, this is the first in-house being presented. The topic, permit me if I bite my tongue, is agility and customer centricity, future-proofing supply chain with intelligent design and adaptive supply network. I have to read it word for word because I can't take it off that. Thank you very much.
A woman of strength, a role model to many, and a leader of distinction, giving us the presentation today before she moves on to the presentation. A round of applause for Dr. Foster Ogbefuchima. You're welcome, ma'am. Keep clapping until she gets here. Dr. Foster Ogbefuchima is an accomplished chemist, distinguished researcher, and visionary leader whose career reflects a profound commitment to scientific excellence, sustainable development, and national advancement. She holds a doctorate in environment and at the intersection of science innovation and environmental leadership. Over the years, Dr. Foster has built an impressive record of professional achievement, becoming a respected authority in environmental systems, industrial process organization, and resource sustainability. She currently is the Overseeing Director of the Research and Development Part Complex of the Raw Materials Research and Development RMRDC, where she oversees strategic innovation, technical operations, industrial research, and the development of new products and technologies. In this role, she provides leadership, value creation, strengthens industrial capabilities, and supports Nigeria's broader agenda for self-reliance, manufacturing competitiveness, and sustainable industrialization. Her leadership in the research and development ecosystem has been marked by a strong narration, forward-looking prolific industrial insights, and attributes that has positioned her as a key contributor to Nigeria's knowledge economy. Beyond her professional achievements, Dr. Foster represents a rare blend of intellect, integrity, humility, and humanity. She is deeply passionate about people and farming, maintaining a personal connection to the land and the environment that mirrors her academic and professional pursuits. Her love for nature fuels a dedication to environmental sustainability, while her passion for meeting people on responsibility, mentorship, public engagement, and collaborative leadership. A strong believer in fairness, equity, and justice, Dr. Foster has consistently used her voice and influence to promote ethical leadership, gender inclusion, professional excellence, and equal opportunity. She is an advocate of systems and structures that uplift individuals, empower communities, and create environments where innovation, dignity, and accountability can thrive. Her commitment to justice is not merely philosophical, it is reflected in her actions, decisions, and leadership style. Today, as she delivers the lecture titled Agility and Customer Centricity, Future-Proofing Supply Chains with Intelligent Design and Adaptive Supply Networks, this citation celebrates a woman of intellect, purpose, and profound impact, a researcher, leader, advocate, and nation builder whose work continues to strengthen institutions, empower people, and champion a more sustainable and equitable future. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Dr. Mrs. Foster, a great teacher. You're welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much. I am sure I am overrated because all the things said here, I am not sure I have done half. May God help me. Thank you so much. My DG sir, represented by my brother, Alaji Kolere, Director President, my colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to be here this morning to talk to us. Sorry, before I go there, I want us to know that I'm a chemist. I am a chemist. First degree, second degree, third degree. I've done a lot of work in chemistry and the environment and other things. But here today, I have come to talk to us about economics. In your house, we do economics. Wherever you find your economics. And it is basic economics that we're going to do here. But do not treat me as an economist. I am a chemist. Please. We now relate them to what we're doing in this council. Because basically what we do, raw materials, research, and please can I go to the next slide? The outline I showed in introduction, understanding the modern supply chain landscape, understanding supply chain agility, customer centricity, supply chain management, intelligent supply chain design, supply network, this and the considerations when you want to have an adaptive network that is futuristic, that is customer centric, that is intelligent. There are challenges and considerations. We also have to take case studies. Although I wrote case studies and presentations, but we're taking one case study, that is raw materials, research and development. Then we conclude. I just have an open mind. But my dictionary tells me that supply is the amount of goods or services that producers are able to offer for sale in the market at a specific price and within a particular time. We cannot say at a specific price and stop there, because price today may vary tomorrow. So a price and particular time. Please, next slide. Today's environment we know is defined by volatility, 1,000. Tomorrow, you cannot go to Sokoto to buy it. However it comes, it will become 150,000. These are the things that today's environment shows us. And that's what we're trying to get here. So the traditional supply chain that from wherever and you go and it is also an efficiency focused. Your own is I will always deliver it to maybe Maraba markets, that is efficiency. You are efficient in delivery. But what we're talking about today is concentrating on the customer centricity. Everything you are doing your supply is being looked at from the point of view of your customer. Can we continue? Sorry, go ahead. Organizations that will thrive in the future, like our organization, because I know you believe as well as I do that this organization will thrive in the future. I don't know if you believe so. Organizations that will thrive in the future, respect the people. If your customer needs rice in March, you work towards getting to your customer in March, not getting to the market in January, and your customer will be looking for how to get it in March. So what about today? Customer center and organization that will be customer based. Next slide. The purpose of this lecture is to start technologies and mindset that will enable. By this lecture, I believe we should be able to understand the value of agility in modern supply chain operations. We will also understand the value of agility. We will also recognize the importance of agility as a competitive differentiator. Science and technology support adaptive networks. They will also write strategies to future supplies. So, we understand the modern supply chain landscape. The current landscape is changes like here. They are efficiency based, but we live in a period characterized by rapid rising customer expectations. Today, your want brown beans, and you keep supplying brown beans. By next week, you bring brown beans, it's white beans that your customer. So you are efficient in your delivery, but you are not satisfying your customer. Go on. Then sustainability pressures. These are the things required supply chains to minimize carbon footprint. If they want to source bentonite, they will destroy the whole environment. These are the things we see. If you have gone to a community where there is mining, you be all of them. Nobody talks about controlling the about looking at the water. Nobody talks about the roads. These are the things that we see. But to thrive in the future, because everyone is becoming aware, you have to consider your customer or whatever means that make human beings and the environment. Then the limitations of traditional supply chains, which tend to be linear, siloed, and slow to respond. These challenges underscore the need for a new kind of supply chain, which is what we are about to talk about here, that is flexible, connected, intelligent, and customer. Can we move on? Understanding supply chain agility. Agility, for a layman, is being active. And yes, in this area that we're talking about, it also means being active. But be active and responsive to what? To your customers' needs. Agility refers to the ability of a supply chain to sense changes quickly and respond effectively. So you are not waiting for things to happen. You anticipate things that will happen. From March to so time, there will be rain. You know that your customer will also require the things you give him. Okay, I'll take an instance. What we have at the RDPC. Somebody is working on dolomite. He goes to the mine to get his dolomite, and he comes to crush and package. But then he got so much request from his customers, but he didn't factor in the rain. But if you are customer centric, you have to factor in what will happen by that time you sell to your customers. You will stockpile your raw material so that during the rains you will have excuse to give to your customers. So agility is built on 4 fundamental pillars: visibility, flexibility, velocity, and the other one. But visibility, you have you have to have real-time access to relevant information. Like what I have used as an example now. You have the information that there will be rain between so time and so time. And technology will help you to even determine what is going to happen in future. Yes, we have some technologies. How intense the rains will be and all that. You factor it in, trying to satisfy your customer. Then we look at flexibility. Flexible supply chains can adjust production, sourcing, and distribution of strategies quickly. Sorry, I'm still using that RDPC issue. Yes, if you are flexible, you go to the mine, get the thing, then you come and process and sell. But when you know that your customer will need this also time, it will change from you going to bring to, but it will change into you going to stockpile, get a lot of raw materials, store it, knowing that during the time so customers will come, by then you have the raw materials that you process and give. Let's continue. Then we talked about velocity. This is the speed at which a supply chain can respond to market signals. It focuses on faster cycle times, rapid fulfillment, and streamlined decision making. Sometimes we say, okay, I'm delivering goods from here to Babalada, but you know that by the time you get to Lugbe police sign, if you know that place, in the evening you have traffic jam. You have to quickly take decision, know the fastest time cycle that you use to bypass that place, or look for a better route. It may be longer, but you are satisfying your customer. The resilience is the capacity to absorb shocks and recover quickly. It involves risk management, redundancy in critical nodes, and robust contingency planning. So digital enablers help us to predict as predictive analytics. It helps us to be agile in our supply system. Yes, I talked about things that will help you to predict the rates. Things will help you to know, of course, Google will tell you where there is traffic jam, all those kind of things. So in supply chain management, we have to look at technology. Technology is a strong pillar that it resonates on. Can we move forward? Now, we look at customer centricity in supply chain management, our main topic, because customer-based supply is what we're talking about. Customer centricity means designing supply chain processes and systems around what customers truly value, not just efficiency, but experience. If your customer wants yellow garri, you walk around it and give your customer yellow garri, no matter what it costs you. At the end, the customer will bear the cost. So, for us to achieve that, modern customers expect faster delivery. They don't know how it is. If you ask somebody to send food, if you order food for another person, and you say 5 minutes, if he doesn't get there 5 minutes, some customers will reject it. They will not pay you. And when that happens, you are at a loss. Your business will begin to go down. Then real-time visibility, personalized products and services. Yes, you may be cooking, you may be doing small chops, but if I want small chops that have more pepper, you have to satisfy me. You don't give me what you are producing. And you are now being customer centric. It's what your customer says I want. That is what you give. Then ethical and sustainable practices. I want to dwell on these ethical and sustainable practices. In the leather sector, we all know what we call Moroccan leather, the red leather. It is gotten from goats in Sokoto, the breed of goats that we call Sokoto red. That is where Morocco they don't wear goats, but it's Nigerian red Sokoto that they process, and it answers Moroccan leather in the international market. Our own leather rarely enters the international market unless it goes through another one. You may want to ask why. Considering ethical and sustainable issues, your customer, most modern customers will reject your goods, no matter how you do it, unless you pass it through another person. I hope you understand what I'm talking about. Then seamless omnichannel experiences. So what we are talking here is that when you center on your customer in your supply, you'll be assured of your customer loyalty. But when you are not, sorry, I don't know what you will expect. So to deliver on these expectations, supply chains must adopt a demand-driven planning approach where the customer becomes the starting point of supply chain design. When you know the person you are giving, if I know I am coming to give my engineer Sirajo, and that he doesn't like being served in plastic, and I deliver food to him in plastic, of course, I have known that I didn't start from him, and he will not accept my product. So what we're talking about today is considering your customer when you're delivering whatever services you have. Next slide. Customer-centric supply chains also incorporate demand-sensing technologies. These are the things that will help you to anticipate customer needs. Then omnichannel fulfillment models that serve customers wherever and however they choose. These are the issues we have mentioned here. Then collaborative product development, where feedback loops from customers drive innovation. Sometimes you come to a place, please, do you like fermented yogurt? Do you like sweet yogurt? Do you like just plain Greek yogurt? When you know that about your customer, remember we said that in the supply chain of modern businesses, you start from the customer. So when we do that, we find that you have not started from the customer and not the other way around. Customer centricity is not merely a strategy, it is a mindset shift in the entire supply chain. It's not a strategy, but it's a mindset change. And in modern businesses, we have seen that this is exactly where we are going. And we as staff and family members of this great council, we have to target our customers in whatever we're doing. Next slide. Intelligent supply chain design. Remember, we are now looking at all those big words. I hope they are making sense now to us. Intelligent designs refer to the strategic integration of data, technology, and processes to create supply chains that can not only react but predict and self-optimize. In the traditional supply way, the supply system, it doesn't predict. It is just linear. You know that if you are in production of, say, Oki, Akamu, when you finish, you bring it to the market. That's the regular channel. Anybody who wants to go to the market to buy it. But regulating, you can use AI to drive the feedback mechanism. They are data driven, ensuring that decisions are grounded in real-time insights. Then they are sustainably optimized. Whenever I say I see sustainability, I feel cool, I feel good as an environmentalist. Sustainably optimized, aligning economic goals with environmental responsibility. Next slide. There are strategies for building adaptive networks, and they include deep integration with suppliers and logistics partners. Distributed and regional manufacturing to reduce dependency risk. What we just talked about moving corn, processed akam to Warri. You begin to move first from the raw material to a collaborating partner somewhere, maybe in Kaduna. If you're moving from Zamfara, maybe that person is in Kaduna. Once it lands in Kaduna, maybe it will add value. It continues with the same logistic chain. So you would not have to run all the way from Sokoto to Warri that you're supplying akam. I hope you understand it. So it also needs the description of suppliers and sourcing locations, continuous learning system that use data to refine operations. So we can say that adaptive supply networks can withstand disruption. It can pivot quickly and it can consistently deliver value. Do we agree on that statement? Do we agree? Are we not following? So please next slide. So with what we now know about agility and customer centricity, future-proofing supply chains with intelligent design and adaptive supply networks, we want a case study of raw materials research and development. I didn't say cancel. Raw materials research and development. So let us look at the case study using what we now know about customer centricity in our supply chains. Raw materials research and development is central to national industrialization. We all know, we agree. So every factory, every production line, every industrial process depends fundamentally on the availability, on the quality, on the reliability, and on the sustainability of these raw materials. We agree to that. So, but the world we operate in today is unpredictable. Yes. You may want to go to Plateau to pick tomatoes that you process or that you sell. But getting somewhere, you hear that the bandits are somewhere, you go back. Meanwhile, your customer is waiting somewhere. You are not able to deliver. But the person if you have a collaborator in Jos who knows what is happening at any time, the person will know the right time to send it to you in Abuja, and you do your processing and reach your customer. We agree to that? So global chain supplies, global supply chain shocks, shifting market demands, climate pressures, rapidly evolving technologies, and rising expectations from industries. They compel us to rethink how we conduct research, how we design supply systems, and how we support national industries. To remain relevant and impactful, the research RMRD, not DC, our raw materials research and development systems must become agility. Remember, it must become agile, it must become customer focused, and it must be intelligence driven and network based. Today, I will unpack what these concepts mean, and we can apply them directly to raw materials research and development. Can we go to the next slide? So, why must raw materials evolve? Why must it evolve? The traditional raw material development is still slow, linear, rigid, all that we talked about, the traditional supply chain system. But it does not meet with the realities of today. Because the realities of today is, if you say, I have, what is it now, that I can produce, I can deliver. They want it fast. They want you to deliver it fast, using the fastest means. And they want the best quality. You know, they want all these. And they want that anytime they talk about it, they say, you have this quality. Are you able to meet the quality? Global disruptions such as pandemics, geographical, geopolitical, whatever, and energy crisis, and the volatility of commodity markets have shown us that raw materials supply chains can fail suddenly and severely. Do we agree to that? At the same time, manufacturers will demand faster turnarounds. They will also demand better quality materials. This traceability has caused us not to have our honey in the international market. because they cannot trace the bee farms where these things come from. But these are some of the issues we should begin to address and look at how to correct. Then sustainability and open sourcing to reduce import dependency. These are the things modern businesses require. Research institutions, therefore, cannot operate in isolation from industry. We must evolve into responsive data-driven, industry-aligned innovation hubs. So we look at agility in raw materials research and development. Agility is the ability to sense changes early and respond quickly. It is not a reactive process, it is a predictive process. You predict this is about to happen and you react immediately, because you don't wait for it to happen before you react. So in raw materials research and development, agility should mean to us rapid identification of emerging industrial needs. Being proactive in detecting gaps in raw materials availability and performance. That's what I'm trying to talk about there. Then in the research and development, agility will also mean flexible research programs, adjusting research priorities to what the industries require, not doing research and keeping it and no industry is taking it. Who are the customer centricity in raw materials research. Who are the customers of raw materials research? We all know it. They are large manufacturers. They are SMEs. They are industrial clusters. They are technology developers, government agencies, investors. There are many, we know them. Even academia are also part of our customers. Can we continue? A customer-centric RMR research and development system is one that is driven by industrial needs rather than internal assumptions. Maybe we sit down here and we say, oh, let us even go into development of Gorotula, when there is no investor that is interested in taking off the result of our research. Or, there is one colored whatever in my village, let us even do something in it. Is there anybody ready to take it? Then it requires demand-driven research projects, joint development with industries. If you are in joint collaboration with industries, if they have needs, be a research and development council, they can come to you. This is the challenge we are having. What do we do about it? Regular stakeholder fora and consultations, customized testing, analysis and technical support, feedback loops, very important. Because no matter the research you do, you will think it's the best. But not until your customer tells you, so thing that we did or you did for me, the result. And that will help you to improve. It will help you to improve, it will help you to know the next line of action to take. Customer centric. Its innovations become more meaningful, more adoptable, and more impactful. Intelligent design in the raw materials ecosystem. Intelligent design refers to the use of data, digital tools, scientific modeling, and modern technology to improve the efficiency and reliability of raw material systems. Yes, whatever data we are giving out to the public, is it correct? Is it useful? Can it be verified? Some examples include GIS mapping and remote sensing for identifying raw material deposits. Yes, if you say there is coal in Enugu, do you have the GIS of it? Do you know the location? So for us as a council that is into raw materials research and development, these are things we should focus our minds on. Bear in mind that our customer can call us at any time. We are not doing customer, oh yeah, if you like it or not, we are doing to satisfy our customer. Then AI-driven forecasting to predict demand and anticipated shortages. Then digital twins for simulating beneficiation processes. Blockchain for end-to-end traceability. Automated laboratories for accurate and rapid analysis. Smart sensors for quality monitoring during processes. I believe there are more. But for want of time, I'm giving us a little. Intelligent design empowers us to make decisions based on evidence, predictive insights, not reactive insights. Remember we talked about predictive and not reactive. Then an automated intelligence rather than guesswork. It improves research precision, boosts efficiency, and enhances our ability to support industries. Now we look at the adaptive raw materials supply network. Today's supply chains are not linear, they are interconnected, dynamic, and constantly evolving. Adaptive raw materials supply networks link researchers, industrially. In fact, all these are stakeholders. They link them, and into one ecosystem. It enables collaboration and shared data. It also supports decentralized or cluster-based production models, and also allows rapid substitution with one raw material. When one raw material becomes scarce, we look for substitutes. It also builds resilience against global disruptions. Yes. COVID-19, 2019, that top 2020, no, it's from 2019. It's 2019. It got to us in 2020. That alone will teach us as individuals, as a family, as a council, why it is very necessary to know about our supply. A lot of things stopped coming to Nigeria within that period. A lot of people suffered. A lot of goods stopped coming from Sokoto to Warri, or from Abakaliki to Abuja. But if we had that kind of intelligent network where we predict this is about to happen, this is what we do, and then you have collaboration that you can move it, maybe from Abakaliki to Enugu, yes, you stop there. Enugu to Lokoja, you stop there, like that. You find out that people wouldn't have suffered the way they suffered. Then it also reduces, okay, we've talked about dependence on imports, then it also promotes local content development. By creating adaptive networks, we reduce vulnerability to shocks and with a more secure, responsive, and self-sustaining raw materials ecosystem. So, the combined impact, future-proofing raw materials research and development. When we integrate all these that we have looked at, and all these we looked at agility, we looked at customer concentricity, customer centricity, we looked at intelligent design and adaptive networks, then we'll be able to unlock the full potentials of raw materials research and development. The benefits when we do that include accelerated value addition to local materials, improved supply security for industries, enhanced resource efficiency and sustainability, will garner greater trust and collaboration between research and industry. And we'll also have a stronger, more competitive national manufacturing sector. We'll also reduce import dependency and we increase our export potentials. This is how we future-proof our raw materials ecosystem. I want us to know that this is also how we build resilience as a council, as a nation. This is how we strengthen our nation's industrial backbone. Ladies and gentlemen, the future of raw materials research and development lies in agility. It lies in intelligent system design. It lies in customer focus, and it lies in adaptive networks. As the world evolves, the institutions that thrive will be those that sense, respond, and innovate quickly. And that is where we're going. That is where we're going. So I advise all of us to join the bandwagon. Those that listen to the needs of their customers and those who embrace technology and collaboration, let us move forward with a renewed commitment to transforming our raw materials ecosystem. Let us build systems that are resilient, not rigid. Let us build systems that are not linear. Let us build systems that are responsive, intelligent, and interconnected. This is the pathway to a competitive, industrialized Nigeria. This is the pathway to sustainable national development. This is the future of raw materials research and development. And this is our future as a country. In concluding, I want to say that the supply chain of the future is one that places the customer at the center, operates with agility, and is built on intelligent technology-enabled design. The future-proofing supply chains requires the synergistic integration of two core paradigms: operational ability and a foundational customer-centric philosophy. Agility allows us to react faster. Customer centricity ensures we deliver value. Intelligent design empowers decisions. Adaptive network guarantees resilience. As we move forward, the organizations that embrace these elements will be the ones that stay competitive, resilient, and future ready. As a council, this should be one of our focus areas. Thank you so much.
Another round of applause for Dr. Mrs. Foster. She did justice to the topic. And above all, she's an engaging speaker. Not one person dozed off, not one person yawned from the moment she took the microphone to the moment she put it down. Another round of applause for her. Thank you so much, madam. At this time, we'd like to field questions. So we're going to be taking 2 questions from the left side of the hall and 2 from the right.
Before that.
Okay, sir.
Madam Shea, allow me to comment the speaker.
Okay, sir.
And before you go to the question and answer sessions. And when you said nobody dozed off, only one person dozed off. Yes. Thank you. I'll not call his name. Okay, thank you, Dr. Foster. This is a wonderful presentation. I don't think if people appreciate this lecture, because I don't think if there's one person from trade facilitation, this paper is totally trade facilitation, international trade. Supply chain is international trade. So I wish this presentation were done at Geneva, WTO, or after Secretariat. I'm very serious about this. I'm very serious. Because that is when you will understand the context of this paper. Because it's talking global supply chain. Your case studies of RMRDC, I'm looking far beyond RMRDC. Because you can adapt, you say adaptive, right? Yes. You can adapt this to Nigerian context of supply chain, regional supply chain. I mean, one of the greatest pillars of AFTA is regional supply chain. To be strong in what we are competitive about. If you are competitive in Nigeria about castor or shea nut, your supply chain and all of this paper will be around shea butter. So this is a wonderful presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. That is.
Can I see by an indication of hands if you have questions?
Well, the chairman, ably represented by our director. Good morning, everybody. Madam Shea, in your earlier comments, you made mention that our lecturer for today is an engaging speaker. Am I right? I will add to that. He's a motivational speaker. To be candid with you, you really made my day. Honestly. By my own little knowledge of marketing is the ability to create is satisfy customer. And through this topic, customer is the center of the supply chain network. That is very true. Customer, environment. Thank you.
Any other question? Madam would like to field all the questions before she begins to respond.
Those online should ask questions if they are online. All right.
Yes, I wanted to get a clarification. Mine is clarification.
Please, if we have any questions from our online audience, please send them in. Thank you.
We really enjoyed your presentation, and
Please, if we have any questions.
raw materials is actually moving towards a global focus. So my question is, there's always a flip side to every context. So you talked about the supply chain sensitivity. Now, is there a way to determine the demand chain? Because in ordinary economics, there is a supply and demand. So if you are talking about the supply, now how do you determine how these demands can now come up? Thank you.
Thank you for all the comments and questions. I want to take them to the best of my ability. Role of the customer. We all know the role of the customer. If you are in business, you're in business to make money. And centering on the customer gives you opportunity to make more money. So the customer is the person that provides the money that you are looking for in business. I don't know if that has answered your question. Now, you talk about position of the environment. When I was given this topic, I took time to look at the environmental aspect of it. Somewhere I talked about sustainability. Yes. If you are into agro processing or if you are in your line of business is in the agriculture, the future customer will look at how you raise your animals. Are you raising animals that will put methane in the air and create more work? Are you raising animals sustainably, giving them the feed that will reduce the quantity of methane that they release in the environment? It is coming. It may not have come in Nigeria, but expect it. It's coming. That is the future of modern businesses. And if you are into crop production, some people want to, well, it's coming to Nigeria. We're talking about organic. Now, if you go to the Western markets, if you go to shop for your vegetables, for your fruits, for pure agricultural products unprocessed, you see the ones labeled organic, the ones labeled the others GMO. That is, they are considering the environment. That is why modern businesses are not only considering the customers, but how you produced those things. Customers will ask questions. I talked to us about our leather produced in Nigeria. We rear goats here in Sokoto. We produce them. We even flay them, bring out their skins, but we can't take them into international markets as leather or leather product from Nigeria. It has to go into international market through another country who comes to obtain them, process and say it's their own leather. Reason: the environment. How did we produce them? I don't know if I've answered your questions. Thank you. Then, sir, you asked about how to determine demand chain. I am not an economist, but I want to tell us that supply and demand go hand in hand. If your customer is interested in what you produce, that is your demand. That is your demand. And then, if your supply chain is predictive, it means that all the people that will demand it, the modern customers, including you and I, we are creating the demand, and our demand will be predictive, not reactive. I don't know if I've answered it, but I'm not a true economist. Thank you. Yes.
Well, I really able to understand some of these things. I think in your presentation, you beautifully said the customer becomes the starting point of the supply chain.
Yes.
I think there is no better answer.
Yes.
And you, in your own statement, now made that statement as well. So that is the role of the customer. He is the starting of the supply chain because he determines what to be supplied. The market determines what is needed. So the customer here is the market. So I think it's a very simple and straightforward. You even echoed it here. So that is very
Well, just to add to that.
yes. This will now make it engaging.
Is the center point is now the value addition. That's the area I want
So
to
let's discuss it. So and another point Dr. Humphrey said about demand. Demand is also, demand determines the supply chain. Because if there is no demand, there will not be demand. I know you. So that is also as simple as that. And to bring all this into global context, this adapts clearly to our 30% value addition goal. Because all we should talk about is supply chain. Supply chain. Because if we get our 30% value chain law, this paper will now become very, very clear and understanding is very clear. Thank you very much for answering.
Good day, everyone. I want to make want to ask a question. I listened when you were saying that you should satisfy your customer, wherever you want to satisfy your customer. But I want to ask a simple question. If I'm satisfying my customer, and for instance, I'm a producer, and I put in every resources I use to produce a certain product, and eventually it costed me a huge amount of money. So, while satisfying my customer, how do I determine the price I should fix so that the same customer will be able to buy my product without him complaining my product is expensive? After I've done every needful thing to make sure that the product satisfies the same customer, and at the same time the customer cannot pay for the services I'm providing. So how do you factor in price? Thank you, ma'am.
Price. Demand and supply.
Awareness.
Well, my brother, if I can get you well, whatever product or services you are rendering, certainly you have to create a satisfied customer. You must satisfy your customer, otherwise there may not be a way out. So that's where the emphasis is. The purpose of your business is truly customer based, and that's the essence of this topic.
Are you okay?
I'm asking, how do you now tell the customer?
How do you ensure that the customer will be able to pay the services you are going to provide to him? If I spend something like maybe 10 million producing a certain product, and the same customer that I'm trying to satisfy will not be able to pay that price I'm attaching to my product. If I'm satisfying my customer, Because you say I should do everything to satisfy my customer. Price. How do the customer pay my price? Can the customer pay my price?
I think if I get you right, as a producer, whatever you produce is for you to have a very good quality. That will determine your price.
That is value.
That is the value. I'll give you an example. Last 2 Saturday, I was to buy chicken. So I saw the chicken. This one was very tall, but if you carry it, it's very light.
Yeah.
Then I now jokingly told the woman I want the one for Thanksgiving, and she said, "Okay, it go cost so you go pay." I said, "Yes, by the grace of God." And she took back. She went home and bring that. Now you will not see the value. Instantly, I have to adjust because from the product I saw, and the quality, I quickly decided to buy. So your products determine the price. Yes, the quality of your product determines the price.
And that's value
At the end, yeah, I can equally take you across the road here. If you go to Calabar Kitchen and go to another kitchen.
Are you good?
Yes, ma'am.
Before you start a business, first of all, you consider your audience and your target audience. You understand? The people that you are producing to. Your target customer.
Your niche market.
Your niche. Thank you, sir. Just like my senior colleague.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Dr. Staff from the Bauchi State Coordinating Office and members of staff from the Niger State Coordinating Office. Thank you so much for being with us today. We truly appreciate your presence. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the 9th edition of the lecture series. The series continues next week. We'll be rounding off with the 10th edition, which holds next week. So that, please hold on, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be rounding off next week with the 10th edition, and we're going to have a distinguished guest speaker. If you want to know who that person is and you want to know what they're going to be talking about, please keep your eyes locked on all our social media platforms for further information. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being a wonderful audience. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for being alert and alive. A round of applause for yourselves. I'd like to hand the microphone over to Professor John for his comments.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. And first, I want to apologize for the lateness in starting the lecture today. Usually the lecture starts at 11, just for what I have today. We had some logistic challenges and that necessitated that. And please, just for the purposes of emphasis and clarity, this lecture today is a lecture that is dedicated to a department, a technical department of the council, and that department is the research plant and demonstration complex. Can we give them a round of applause? Now, being a foremost and more or less a critical component of the council, they were mandated to present first, to lead, in order for other departments to stay awake to the responsibility of having their presentations. And notice that these presentations will form part of the publication that will be coming up in April next year. So each of the departments, it will not just be a mere presentation, they are going to make it into a publishable work that will form part of that presentation. As such, the head of department and also the directors of those departments are basically the lead presenters of the papers. Please can we give them a round of applause? And this will signal a dimension of the leadership of the DG in ensuring that all departments are repositioned responsibly in the knowledge management of the council. And as such, it's not just open to having people come to make their presentations on this critical aspect of raw material, but as well in-house to build capacity via the department. And that's why today we are having the research plant and demonstration complex having their presentation, and it was lucid, innovative, it was more or less very, very dynamic. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, can you give the presenter, our director, Dr. Mrs. Foster Chima, a round of applause? You can make it resound. You can make it resound. And so I want to also thank the representative of the Director General. Just in a short while, he has always made himself very much available, and no other person than Mr. Coloring. Please, Director Chemical and Pharmaceutical Department, you can do it better, you can do it better. And also, permit me to also acknowledge the man behind the scene who coordinates and makes sure everything is well articulated. No other person than the very energetic, dynamic director that has the largest battalion. No other person than the director DCA, Mr. Mukta. Please give the round of applause. All the electronics you're seeing, he makes it happen. And please, once again, let's also appreciate the Mr. Danjuma from the ICT department, who is also making it happen. And also we have our Director of Human Resources, who is taking responsibility to ensure that everything is well coordinated. Please, can we give Mr. Abiola a round of applause? And please note it, he has a mandate that going forward from January, each of the department will give us a list of participants per month of persons that will be attending the lecture series. He has that responsibility. And ladies and gentlemen, rise to take the national anthem. I want to believe strongly that this did a lecture worth it. And I want to thank everyone, the men behind the camera, Halima, Kingsley, Dayo, Adams, and Madam Shay, the core NC, and Ada that is not here. Everyone that is making it happen, Halima and Aisha, every one of them, they are wonderful. Please, can you give them a round of applause? As I invite my co-compare to come and give us the closing. Thank you very much. And please, my friend and brother, who is also the Deputy Director of the Research Plant and Demonstration Complex, it will be injustice for me not to recognize him. And also Madam Ndidi, these two wonderful persons. Please, can you give them a round of applause? They made this paper possible. And please, let's give them a round of applause. Thank you, Deputy Directors, for supporting your directors to be here. Over to you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor John John. Ladies and gentlemen, on this note, can I invite you to please rise as we take questions. I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest, to serve Nigeria with all my strength, to defend her unity, and uphold her honor and glory, so help me God. Thank you so much. Please, don't leave. Let's step outside for a group photograph with our lead presenter. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. I'd like to also recognize Dr. Obi Okereke, who's been here with